Hi, my name's Armida. This is me, and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to talk to you about all the symptoms that I had in my first trimester and what I did to deal with them. But first, I put on this hella cute dress. You have to see it. Ooh, look at that. Oh, this color is so perfect with my skin tone and my hair. I got a little bit of purple going on in my hair. Yeah, I got this as one of my really flowy dresses that I can grow into. You know, my little bump can grow into it. And it's got pockets. Ayo, so exciting. Yeah, I wore this to Easter, but I wasn't feeling too good on Easter, so I did not vlog it and take any video footage of it, so therefore it does not exist. But you get to see it today in this little video. But yeah, we're gonna talk about symptoms. So yeah, we're gonna talk about pregnancy symptoms today because I feel like these videos are really helpful. At least for me, when I found out that I was pregnant, the very first thing I did was go to YouTube and I looked up all sorts of other moms who usually first-time moms like myself, and like try to figure out like what they went through, especially during that first trimester. Very first off, let's just kick it off with a fun one. Let's talk about nausea, because you hear that, you know, nausea is like one of the main symptoms that people talk about when they talk about the first trimester. Like maybe because it's like the worst probably for moms. Speaking about my nausea, I did not have, it wasn't so bad that I ever had to throw up. It felt like growing up, I was always, as a kid, I was very prone to car sickness, you know, motions. Like, I've always enjoyed roller coasters, but you know, those are only a couple minutes long, but really long car rides, I just got sick. And there's like a good number of times where I did, like, you know, throw up either in the car or right outside the car because of motion sickness from just being in the car, especially if there's like a lot of traffic and the stopping and going. And so I would describe my nausea during the first trimester as kind of a feeling of I just took a really long car ride, like for a good couple hours. That feeling when you go back home and you're stationary, you know, but you can still feel your body getting over it. That's what it felt like. Not like I'm actively in the car, like, whoa, the world needs to stop moving right now kind of thing. It was more like, okay, I'm trying to get over it, but that was all day, morning to night. I think like as soon as I had anything in my system, especially at the very beginning, like one of the very first things I do as soon as I open my eyes is drink water. Like I'm a nice hydrated queen, and I like to drink water as soon as I wake up from all the way until I'm going to bed. So like if I woke up and let's say I'm like, oh, I want to go to the bathroom, I feel fine, but then right after I take a couple sips of water, it was like, oh. I later talked to my doctor about it, or just like, you know, nausea in general, and then she was like, try to not gulp like a ton of water. Apparently, if you just like, let's say I get my water bottle and I'm just like, I just chug it back, and all that water, like a ton of it, and like the air, you know, from gulping apparently can like really like not make you feel good. So maybe at the very beginning I was just drinking too much because that's what I'm used to, you know, I'm just used to just like, oh, I wake up, you know, drink some water. Also, one thing that I did notice that made my nausea worse that I was not expecting. So if you just found out you're pregnant, here's a little heads up. It was like my prenatal vitamin made me feel more sick, which is like so weird. You'd be like, what? Like, it's just a vitamin. It was just like a tiny little pill with all these wonderful nutrients that help, you know, grow your baby. I had a great multivitamin. It's not like it had too much of something or it was too big or anything. Really nothing wrong with my prenatal vitamin, but I would take it in the morning just so I wouldn't forget. As soon as after I had the prenatal vitamin, my nausea got worse, and it was like, oh, and so I thought it was just, you know, just generic nausea, and I did not correlate it to the prenatal vitamin until there was one day, actually I think there was 2 days where I forgot to take it. It was just like, oh, I think I had a busy day, just doing a lot of things, running a lot of errands, and I forgot to take my prenatal vitamin. And then I was like, wait a minute, I don't feel so nauseous today. Like maybe like a minor, like just like a little bit of nausea. And I was like, what? I think I brought this up to my mother-in-law, Renee, and she said, oh, the very same thing happened to me. And my doctor told me, just take your prenatal before you go to bed. And I was like, what? That's a brilliant idea. So yeah, ever since then, I just take it with like a little snack. Like I have a little bit of like fruit before I go to bed, just so that I don't have I just have something in my system while I pop in the vitamin, and then I go to bed. And I really sleep fine. I've really slept fine this whole pregnancy. I've always had no problem sleeping, so it's not like I woke up being like, oh, I feel so nauseous in the middle of the night. No problem at all. So like if you're like me and you taking a prenatal vitamin and maybe it could be making you feel more sick, who knows. So yeah, I did not realize that until like the end of the first trimester. So maybe my nausea might not have been so bad, or maybe not so bad, but like it was like a constant. It was just a constant feeling of sickness the whole time. You know, most days, if not all days, I was like, you know, like a little off, you know. But if I could give any advice for, you know, any moms, and you probably heard this before, I'm probably not this is not like something like super profound at all, but having small meals throughout the day, kind of like grazing like a kitten, was like the best thing to make me feel less nauseous. Because like if your stomach is empty, then you feel nauseous. But then if you eat too much food, like a big meal, then you feel nauseous. So constantly eating small meals, you know, every couple hours, it made me feel pretty fine. So I constantly had like snacks with me. Like if I was leaving the apartment to do anything, even if I knew that I was going to be eating a meal out with friends or family, then I always had like some sort of like protein, like fiber bar, something very simple, not too complex, in my bag, and maybe one of those like little like fruit cups that you get from like the grocery store. You probably had them as a kid, but I always like pop those in my bag, maybe with a little like plastic fork or spoon or something. And those have been a lifesaver, because like something always happened where I would be out and about for longer than I had planned, and I could feel myself getting nauseous or hungry, you know, even, and then I always had to have a snack with me. Next, let's talk about migraines. So in the very beginning, as soon as I found out that I was pregnant, I started getting these really terrible migraines. And so like, yeah, I wouldn't even call them like, oh, it was like a headache, like, ooh, a little headache, ooh, poor me. It was like, no, like a migraine. Like I had to lay down, you know, dark room, put an ice pack on my head. And it was, for me, primarily, it was always on my right side of my head, like from my eyebrow bone all the way to like probably up here. Basically everything my hand is touching right now, that was like where my migraine was. So for a couple weeks, for most of the days, I had like some sort of like migraine during the day. And so at first when they started showing up, I thought it was because I was weaning off of caffeine. You know me, I'm a huge coffee drinker, love coffee, probably would have it before, you know, I found I was pregnant. I probably would have it like twice a day, like maybe like one in the morning, one at lunch, just to be honest. And so as soon as I found I was pregnant, I was like, okay, I completely cut out caffeine just to like cold turkey, just to, you know, get my body not used to it. Now I can have like a cup of coffee. You know, the whole rule is like you can have up to 200 milliliters. Yeah, I think, 200 milliliters of caffeine a day, and that's good and healthy. So yeah, at the very beginning, when I started getting the migraines, I was like, oh, this must be because I'm not having any caffeine anymore. You know, I've cut off caffeine before, like I've definitely done that. And so that's happened to me before, but it was like for weeks. I was about to like bring this up to my doctor, but as soon as I had that first appointment and I was able to chat with her, they stopped. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Now that I'm in the second trimester, I get them like occasionally, but they're definitely not as bad where I have to like lay down, you know, with ice pack. Like it's not that bad. So I don't know what that's about, but there really wasn't much that I could do about it. Now I know that moms can take a Tylenol, like acetaminophen is a pregnancy friendly pain reliever. But yeah, so other than that, not much I could say about migraines. Just like make sure you're hydrated and eating food. That's really mostly it. Next, another big another big symptom is fatigue. And I didn't start getting fatigue until like the later half of my first trimester, and I think that's just because the fetus is growing. The little guy is growing more and more every day, every week, and therefore your body's working harder than it normally would just to like, you know, just grow the baby. So yeah, your body's going to experience some more fatigue. You're not going to have as much energy as you did before. I really feel for the moms who have to still work like, you know, a normal schedule or like a set schedule where you can't just like take a nap, you know, when you want to. I really feel for them. I'm so glad that I can, if I feel really tired, I can take a nap and just like work it into my schedule. The best advice I can give is just when you're tired, just sleep. Do not fight it. I know me, I'm like, no, it's too early for me to sleep, or just like, oh no, like I gotta get work done. I can't take a nap right now. That's me. That was literally me yesterday. I was like, oh, I really should have taken a nap. I like just take a nap, you know, like let's make sure the people around you in your life understand that you're growing a human and you're gonna be tired. And even though you aren't physically, you might not be physically like doing that many things, but your body is working overtime right now to grow another little person. So you are going to be tired. I'm still experiencing some sort of fatigue. I mean, my energy is coming back most days, but yeah, I need to take some naps some days. my doctor was very concerned about that. She thought that my energy would bounce back by now, but no, that's it. I mean, every mom's different, you know. Maybe I'll just be really tired as my baby's growing. Next, another symptom, not really a symptom, but maybe just like a side effect, is like some cravings. So when I tell people that I'm pregnant, the very first thing they ask is like, oh, so any cravings? But really, I think not that many moms get that many cravings in the first trimester, or maybe not anything like too noticeable. I mean, the baby's like so small, maybe they don't have that big of effect on your food cravings. But what I did notice is that, okay, I don't have a sweet tooth. A lot of my family does. They love a good dessert all the time, and I never have been that person. I'm like a savory person. I love like stuff with sauces and meats, and I love salty things. Like I've always been like that, like probably ever since I was a kid. But now that I'm pregnant, I want sweets. Like I want fruit like all the time. I have fruit just eating it with a fork probably at least twice a day, maybe more if I can help it. And also, if somebody offers me a bite of their dessert, I'm taking it. Well, beforehand I'd be like, no, I know I don't want a bite of your slice of cake, but now I'm like, yeah I do. I do. It's just like, I don't know, it's not like it tastes any different. It tastes the same, but I just want more sweets. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Maybe our baby has like a huge sweet tooth and they're just asking for more sweets. I have no idea what that's about. But that's definitely a big change. That's definitely not something I've just made up. I've never been a sweet person, but now I am. And now moving on, that was like all the normal pregnancy symptoms. Now let's move on to physical symptoms, like any like changes in my body that I might have noticed. So if you're uncomfortable with me talking about my body, maybe this might be it for you, but I am going to be talking about my body and the different changes that has happened. But next, I'll talk about weight gain, because I think as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I was very worried about all the weight that I was going to gain. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna blow up, I'm gonna get huge, just me thinking for the worst, at least at the very beginning. And so I'll have to say, at least for the first trimester, no weight gain at all, really. Maybe I probably lost a couple pounds, but if you go from when I did find out I was pregnant, it's been more or less the same weight. I think from here on out, in the second trimester and third trimester, the weight gain will speed up, but I have not noticed anything because the nausea I have not like wanted food as much as before. I know that's kind of crazy because like in my previous, if you watch my previous vlogs of me kind of vlogging my everyday life as, you know, me being an artist and a pregnant woman, I noticed that when in the editing process that I do talk a lot about food, or I show you food. I think just because like I vlog on good days good days I feel good, no nausea, high energy. That's the days that I pop out the camera and I vlog, and so therefore I am going to be excited about food, but you know, but that's not the case every day in the first trimester. So yeah, no weight gain, more or less the same to a T, and I have not like exercised all that much. Stuff is just a lot harder to do physically, but I have been trying my best to be as active as I possibly can, because that's just good for me and, you know, my overall health, and therefore will be good for the baby. Yeah, no weight gain. I think if I do another video for my second trimester, I'll tell you about that, so look out for that. Next is my belly, which for the first trimester, I really don't think I have like, ooh, that's what a pregnancy belly looks like. Like, no, I don't think I got to that point ever at all. Me personally, I have gained a lot of weight before and then lost it. So I am no stranger to having a big belly and love handles and the whole shebang. And I do have stretch marks from that time where I gained a lot of weight in a short amount of time. So the baby is very much like my belly bump is very much on the front part of my belly. And so it doesn't feel too different to me to have, you know, this much space, you know, this much of me up here on my belly, because I've had it before. I've been, you know, no stranger to it. But the only difference I can really feel is that usually when I have this big of a belly in the front, I also have the love handles on the sides to match. Like equal front, equal sides and hips. And you could definitely see it if you looked at my like front silhouette, you know, like the little bumps on my hips. And so right now, very little like hip bumps, very little like that fat on my hips. I mean, there is some, you know, like I'm a human. I got fat places, but you know, so it's like, oh yeah, I got a little belly in the front. So it doesn't feel that different to me right now. Maybe if I'd been like super thin my whole life and never gained that weight, I'd be like, oh my god, look at me, I got a belly, you know. It's the only thing I really noticed. But yeah, from here on out, it should be growing. So yeah, that's just like my case. Who knows, maybe by the third trimester I might be like huge, because I am pretty short. I am 5'2", so that gives you a good reference. So my, you know, my torso, my chest, torso, belly area is not very big. You know, I'm not very tall and long. So yeah, so not much other place for the baby to go. But next, it's a fun one. We're going to talk about boobs. So I've always had a larger chest. I think because I gained that weight and then I lost it, I kept the boobs. So that's pretty nice. I will not complain about that. Love that for me. keeping my boobs. And so I never thought that my boobs could get bigger, but they have, and not in like a fun way. In my pregnancy announcement video, I did mention that my nana, my 80-year-old grandmother, did notice that I was pregnant because of my big boobs. Yeah, all throughout the first trimester, my boobs did get bigger, and therefore my nipples as well, which I was not thinking that they were going to change this early on. Like, yeah, surely by the time the baby's almost here, you know, your boobs have a purpose, you know, gotta feed, gotta give the baby milk. But yeah, as soon as I was pregnant, it was just like, whoa, you know, it was like, you know, like it was painful to a point. I think I've heard like every mom video that I ever watched is like, yeah, my boobs hurt, and I definitely feel it. It's like any little force towards my boobs is like, ouch, you know, like don't. So I've definitely like taken advantage of like very loose, not too restrictive bras, even this early on in the pregnancy, which I thought that I would probably need that later on, but nope, I need it now. So, and then next one probably the best symptom that I've ever experienced during this pregnancy is no acne. Me as like a teen and an adult, my whole like teen adult life, I've always had acne. It's just I've always struggled with it. It's just I can never seem to keep it away. If you see anything on my face now or any of my videos, it's acne scars, I can promise you, because I think this whole pregnancy, all these months, I've only had like one single pimple on my chin. I think you can probably see the remnants of it because that was fairly recently. I was very surprised to see this because I was like, my face has been so clear this whole time, and I was like, whoa. Like, I think that's what they talk about when like pregnancy, like, or pregnant women glow, you know. I think like that's one of the things is like, oh, like clear skin. I think I've heard another thing that like pregnant women, they got like good hair, but I haven't noticed anything different in my hair, really. I mean, I do have like dyed and bleached hair, so like I know this bit is all dead anyway. So yeah, there's like one good thing is like no acne. I feel a lot more confident to go out in public and do chores and stuff with no makeup on. Like, I don't feel like my face is really red. So as long as I put on some sunscreen to like, you know, keep away that redness and, you know, and the sun, I feel really good. It's like one like good confident thing, you know. I do got like a little bit of a pudge, you know, but like my face is still pretty clear. So I haven't worn face makeup, like foundation, that whole thing, in quite a bit. I can't think of the last time I felt like I needed it. You know, I love makeup. I love experimenting with stuff, but yeah, I didn't feel like I needed foundation. Okay, so that's all the symptoms that I could think of and remember. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. I know when I found out that I was pregnant, I really searched out for this information and just to get all these different moms' opinions and see what they did. I am 24 years old, so like I feel like I'm pretty young to be doing this and having a kid. So like, and yeah, I'm 5'2". So yeah, like a shorter woman, first pregnancy. This is just all the stuff that I experienced in the first trimester, all the good and the bad, and now now I'm in the second trimester and stuff is changing. So I just wanted to document this to anyone who was like interested or curious. So I hope this was helpful. Yeah, give this a like if you found this helpful or you enjoyed it at all, and subscribe if you want more pregnancy content. I know I'm pretty behind in videos. I'm trying to catch up because I recorded while I was pregnant, but I didn't share it yet because I didn't announce my pregnancy yet. So I mean, I'm catching up. So there's more pregnancy content and more painting content to come. So yeah. So I'm Armida, and yeah, so that's it. I'll see you next time. Okay, goodbye.